Hi, and thank you for joining us. I'm Elizabeth Burden, an artist and your host for AZ Illustrated Arts. Have you been feeling inspired lately, or are you looking for a way to express yourself in a new medium? Tonight, we'll look at a few of the many ways that people are learning and teaching art in Southern Arizona. We'll visit a professor who shares her love of a unique art form from her native China.
When you talk about Chinese calligraphy, you're going to go back to 4,000 years and then come to the Qing dynasty.
See some of the dynamic but fragile art that was created during a recent event sponsored by the Sonoran Glass School.
We really set it up so that they can have a great experience. We add scrims, screens, extra ways that they really get to see the artists do the work.
Find out about a downtown Tucson studio where the philosophy is that art is for everyone.
This is really labor-intensive work. She does it the old-fashioned way. She does aquatint and mezzotint.
And I'll have a conversation with a local author who wrote a novel about a boy growing up in the years before his homeland is consumed by violence.
I'll read you a section where he has just found out that he's been accepted in the secondary school where his father taught. Jean-Patrick took Papa's journal from his shelf and sat on his bed. He let the book fall open where it would, as if Papa himself had chosen the entry.
But first, a look at today's top stories.
Pima Community College will allow those who qualify for a temporary work permit in the United States to pay in-state tuition beginning next semester. Hundreds of people showed up at last night's Pima Community College meeting holding signs that read "In-State" for DACA students, a term used to describe President Obama's deferred action for childhood arrivals. The plan gives temporary work permits to undocumented people under the age of 31 who were brought to the U.S. as children, have no criminal record, who have been in the country for the last 5 years and are either enrolled in or have graduated from high school or have served in the military. The Pima Community College Governing Board voted 4-1 last night to accept the permit as proof of residency. Board member Scott Stewart was the only one to vote against the measure. Pima Community College officials say colleges in about a dozen states have already approved in-state tuition for those who qualify for a temporary work permit. Maricopa Community Colleges approved the change last year. If sequestration goes into effect as expected on Friday, civilians at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base will feel the budget pinch. Officials at the base tell Arizona Public Media that 1,300 civilian workers will be furloughed over the next 7 months in order to save $6.7 million. That means that the affected workers will each be required to take 22 days off unpaid over the next 7 months. Base officials also say they expect a reduction in flying hours as part of sequestration cuts. In addition to the 1,300 civilian workers, Davis-Monthan employs more than 7,000 active duty service members. Similar cuts are expected at military bases across Arizona. And that's a look at tonight's headlines.
The extensive daily use of computers and cell phones has de-emphasized the value of handwriting among younger generations. However, the fine art of Chinese calligraphy is one part of the curriculum offered by the University of Arizona Department of East Asian Studies. Some practitioners say this ancient tradition has benefits that can extend into other aspects of life. Luis Carrion has the story.
The Chinese New Year is the most important Chinese holiday. It's an opportunity for families to come together and celebrate a tradition that is centuries old.
Like Christmas, maybe in the United States. This is a good time.
Dr. Chia Lin Pao Tao is a professor in the Asian American Studies Department at the University of Arizona. She says 2013 is the year of the snake, and an important part of the holiday revolves around doing away with bad fortune and ushering in the positive energy of the coming year.
Because this is a time that they want to expel the old and welcome the new. And usually with a band, line dance, dragon dance, very exciting. And with that, you do some calligraphy, writing happiness, writing spring, all these good words. They hang it on the door. So I'm going to demonstrate the writing of Fu, happiness. The word Fu.
Professor Pao Tao says calligraphy is an integral part of the Chinese New Year, and the art has deep roots in the history of Chinese culture.
When you talk about Chinese calligraphy, you're going to go back to 4,000 years, and then come to the Qing dynasty. You know, the first emperor of Qing who built the Great Wall, who had the terracotta soldiers. He was the one who unified the Chinese language.
Professor Pao Tao immigrated to the United States in 1961. She says that as a young graduate student, she stopped practicing calligraphy. Her education in the States simply didn't allow time for this cultural tradition.
I almost couldn't find my brush in which boxes, you know. Then one day I met a calligrapher, and he just said, you got talent. You have to practice.
Professor Pao Tao teaches calligraphy at the University of Arizona. She says people are interested in the inherent artistic qualities of this tradition.
Picasso, when he saw the Chinese calligraphy, and he was amazed, he said, if I was born in China, I might be a calligrapher. According to the Chinese, maybe in your previous life, you practice, you know, you can never tell. But when I pick it up, I feel I like to do it. But then recently, because of teaching Chinese calligraphy, I really practice a little. Yeah.
Professor Pao Tao says calligraphy does require practice and a certain amount of discipline. But according to her, the benefits of pursuing this ancient art are far-reaching and can impact other aspects of life.
Those who practice calligraphy can live longer. Why? Because this is a way to meditate. When you write it, you calm yourself down. When you feel stressful, if you do some calligraphy, then you feel you're relaxed. Calligraphy has the magic power.
Sonoran Glass School is a nonprofit educational organization dedicated to promoting the appreciation and awareness of glass as a visual arts medium. They work in the arts community by providing a supportive environment in which glass artists, students, and enthusiasts can learn, create, and share knowledge. With me today, I have Margaret Zinser and John Peter Wilhite to talk more about Sonoran Glass School and the recent flame-off competition held at the Rialto. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
So please tell a little bit more about the Flame Off event, its purpose, the format, and how artists are selected.
Well, we've been doing the Flame Off now for almost 11 years. Tom Philibom, as he founded the school with Dave Klein 11 years ago, this was one of their first fundraisers. And the format is fairly simple. If you think of Iron Chef, we're thinking a short-term, high-intensity, high-enthusiasm event where we bring artists from all over the country who are conveniently here during the Gem and Mineral shows. And we have artists compete either as individuals or in teams of two, and they get anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours to make the most spectacular piece that they can in that very limited time.
I know that you're also a glass artist, so what are the challenges of trying to create a full piece in that length of time?
Well, glass can be unpredictable. You know, sometimes it comes with a little bit of a learning curve, which is what we help to teach at the school, and mistakes happen. Glass breaks, and so it is an exciting challenge for the artists to get to kind of keep on their toes, fix cracks as they happen, make sure their piece comes together the way that they want. It's that's part of what gets the crowd motivated.
And how does the audience react?
Well, and I was just going to add, it's also the audience. For some of them, it's the first time they've been in front of an audience. So they have that extra challenge as well. But the audience, you know, they love it. I mean, for many of them, it's the first time they've seen anything like this. They've heard about it, They know they're interested in glass, but all of a sudden they're like, wow, I'm actually watching this person make this piece. And we really set it up so that they can have a great experience. We add scrims, screens, extra ways that they really get to see the artist do the work.
Does it lead to more people wanting to take classes or learn the art form, do you think?
I think it does. I mean, I think what happens is it begins the process of someone thinking, and a lot of times, like I'm at the school every day, so what happens is I will sometimes see someone 2 or 3 weeks down the road and they'll say, I was at the Flame Off and I just want to find out more about what might be available to me. It's the first time I've seen it. I really want to find out more. So I think it definitely leads to other people exploring what the options are in glass arts for them.
What other types of programming does the Sonoran Glass School offer? What kinds of classes does it offer?
Well, we do programs in pretty much every different way that you can work with glass. Flame working, which was highlighted at the Flame Off. We also do furnace work, so if you think of offhand style, large vases, very traditional Italian techniques. Kiln forming, so anything that can be slumped, fused in a kiln. Stained glass, mosaics. We also teach cold working, so all the grinding, cutting, polishing, sandblasting.
Well, it seems that glass as a visual arts medium is starting to experience a renaissance. Do you think that's true, John Peter? And if so, why is it happening?
I do think it's true. I mean, and it's still, I think the Renaissance is still a little slow in getting there. I think a part of it is more and more people are looking at glass and realizing, wow, this is really exciting. Number one, they're getting a piece that they know the person has spent a great deal of time thinking about, whether it was in the warm shop, the hot shop, or the flame shop. The other thing about glass, I think, is the color and the intensity of the colors that you can get no matter what medium of glass you work in. And I think, you know, and I've heard from more and more people who have begun the process of saying, I'm just now beginning to collect glass. And what I like about it is I can put it someplace in my house and I don't have to worry about it fading. Whereas
what do you look for when you collect?
I look for color. For me, it's about color, and it's the precision of the work at this point. I've been collecting for over 30 years. So I'm now in a place where it deals with the color of the piece, sometimes the age of the piece, and then a lot of times the details that I know as far as what it takes to do that type of piece.
So, Margaret, tell us a little bit more about your work. I understand that you started taking classes at the school and then have become a glass artist. What drew you to the art form, and what is your work about now?
Well, my background before glass was in entomology, and so what spoke to me, you know, with a scientific background, glass is a very technically based medium. There's a lot of chemistry and physics in understanding the glass, and so once you understand that science, there's just, you know, an endless amount of room for creativity, and that's really what spoke to me and drew me into the medium. And now I end up, well, I don't work officially in entomology anymore. I make a lot of insect-themed, mostly jewelry and marble items, and so it's, yeah, it's fun. It ends up bringing everything full circle.
So how many students come through the doors of the Academy every year?
Well, I think several thousands of students come through the door because we also have a youth program where we work with a lot of youth. So we have a lot of youth programming from the local area that we work with. And what I've seen that people get from it is just this sense of, it's almost like a sense of wow, meaning they had thought about glass or someone sort of gave them this idea that they might do something with this. We have one class that's a semester-long class, and I remember talking to some of those students, and they just, it was as if they were just in awe of this themselves. You know, like, I can't believe I finished this. I can't believe I did this. Look at all these pieces I created. It's a love that's just unbelievable, and you really see it in people's faces and in their eyes from the experience they're having from working with the glass.
Tell us, where can people go if they want to learn more about the school?
SonoranGlass.org is our website, and you can always swing on down to the school. We're on 18th Street, right at the corner of the frontage road.
Well, thank you both so much for coming on today and sharing with us the beauty of glass in the Sonoran Glass School.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pope Benedict XVI made an emotional public farewell today and then left the Vatican in a white helicopter bound for the papal summer residence.
We get the latest on the end of Benedict's papacy and the coming conclave to select a new pontiff from John Allen in Rome.
Then we update the WikiLeaks case after Army Private Bradley Manning pleads guilty to leaking classified material, but not to aiding the enemy.
Ray Suarez examines the U.S. promise to provide food and medical medical aid to opposition forces in Syria.
Fred DeSam Lazaro reports on the plight of women in Turkey, where economic opportunity has not translated into freedom from discrimination or abuse.
And we turn to violence against women in this country as Congress extends a far-reaching law to address domestic abuse.
That's all ahead on tonight's NewsHour.
Vermeer's woman in blue reading a letter is mysterious.
We don't really know what she's reading, whether she's reading something that's just arrived, perhaps she stood up to read something important.
I'm Susan Stamberg. The painting is in Los Angeles right now, raising questions which the artist leaves us to answer. Come see on the next morning edition from NPR News.
Now for another look at the ways in which art can be learned and taught, we'll visit a location in downtown Tucson. Housed in the former Johnny Gibson building, the Drawing Studio is a place that offers courses in many different media and where the philosophy is simple. Art is for everyone. Louise Carrion reports.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
In this era of shrinking education budgets, it's often the arts that are the first to be eliminated from school curricula. However, the Drawing Studio is marking its 21st year of art education in Tucson, and it seems that demand for studio classes has only increased over time.
Our argument is that the skills of visual thinking are applicable to a wide variety of jobs and professions. All right, what do we have coming up for...
Lynn Fleischman is the executive director and one of the founding members of the Drawing Studio. She says this nonprofit visual art cooperative, located in downtown Tucson, seeks to cultivate the skills of something she calls visual intelligence.
Drawing or painting or any art is a skill to be learned. It's not a talent. It's not an inborn talent.
The curriculum teaches the skills of observation.
And teaches the skills of paying attention, as odd as that sounds. As anybody who has tried to meditate knows, learning how to pay attention is not easy.
Fleischman says the core curriculum at the Drawing Studio was developed by a group of local artists led by former University of Arizona art professor and Drawing Studio co-founder Andy Rush.
So I think the first class he offered was maybe 10 people. I think we had 400 square feet in the first space. And we had to push everything to the side whenever we wanted to have a class.
The curriculum is intended for people of any age or walk of life and is based on extensive art studio practice that is not necessarily limited to drawing.
We offer a lot of different varieties of classes, far more than just drawing. So we have oil painting, acrylic painting, we have bookmaking, plein air painting, we sometimes have clay sculpture. We have lots of different media represented.
Fleischman says that people will experience life more deeply and participate creatively in the community through the cultivation of visual intelligence. And she adds that an innate artistic talent is not a requisite for taking classes at the studio.
This is really labor-intensive work. She does it the old-fashioned way. She does aquatint and mezzotint.
The Drawing Studio also has an exhibition program with a schedule that Fleischman says attracts more than 3,000 visitors a year.
As you can see, it's an awful lot of work here, and I'm just really excited by the variety of it.
On our recent visit to the studio, the exhibition included a collection of 200 works on or of paper by local artists, as well as a separate exhibition of 15 works that were donated by some of Tucson's better-known artists.
Our whole purpose in the exhibition program is to illuminate the processes of visual thinking, to bring people in, to demystify. On the one hand, it's to celebrate the mystery that is art, and on the other hand, to demystify the process of art so that it is accessible to anyone.
Fleischman says that an important part of the studio classes occurs when students are exposed to the different perspectives that are brought to bear in each session. Although the classes are taught by accomplished artists, it's often the opportunity to see how each individual interprets a subject that provides the lasting impression.
There's nothing more fun than at the end of the evening of, say, a class in drawing or pastel or something, to take 12 different still lifes, all of the same still life, and put them up on the wall and look at them. Every single one is different. Every single one really expresses the individuality of the artist, very self-expressive, and every single one is a valid truth about what people are seeing. That kind of experience begins to spill over into other arenas of life. And people report really life-changing distinctions after they've been involved in studio practice over a period of time. And the comment we've heard most often is, I see the world differently.
You can see the world a little differently and get more information on the Drawing Studio by logging on to azpm.org.
Naomi Benaron's debut novel, Running the Rift, was the recipient of the 2010 Barbara Kingsolver Bellwether Prize for Socially Engaged Fiction. The novel is about a young Tutsi boy growing up in the years leading up to the genocide in Rwanda. Her short story collection, Love Letters from a Fat Man, won the 2006 Sharat Chandra Prize for Fiction. Naomi lives in Tucson, and she will be one of the authors featured at the upcoming Brandeis University Book and Author Luncheon. Naomi, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
How did this book come to be? What was your inspiration for writing Running the Rift?
I had several inspirations. The first one was watching a wild card heat in the 2000 Summer Olympics in Sydney, and there was a man, Eric Musambami, from Equatorial Guinea, who had never been in a 25-yard pool, let alone a 50-meter pool, and I saw him swim a 100-yard freestyle in the Olympic pool, and his guts and determination just stuck with me. And then I started taking writing classes. Then I started working with African refugees through Jewish Family and Children's Services. Then I decided I was taking fiction classes with Meg Files. I decided to write about East Africa. I ended up going to Rwanda with my dog trainer, and that was it. Once I hit Rwanda, I knew that was the place I had to write about.
You're from the Southwest. How do you think you, being from here, influenced your writing on this topic?
Well, actually, it's funny. My first 18 years, I grew up in Boston. My parents were from Boston, and that's where I went to school, high school, and university. I think it influenced me because being in such a beautiful place and being in such a place where nature is everywhere around you, it really taught me to be aware of setting and to be aware of my surroundings and how surrounding influences character.
What about the Rwandan countryside or the people really struck you, and how do you feel that they come through in this book?
I fell in love before we even landed. We were coming in with, as I say, I went with my dog trainer. We'd been up for 2 days flying in. We came in on this rickety little plane, and it was just, the sun was just coming up. And this verdant landscape just rose up under the wings. And then you get closer, and you see it's like a patchwork quilt. It's all terraced fields. And Rwanda is called the land of 1,000 hills because it's very, very mountainous terrain. And it was such an incredibly beautiful, colorful country, and the people wear these beautiful, colorful wraps, and they were so friendly. That's what really struck me. They would come up and talk to you, and if you spoke a few words of their language, they were just delighted. And
it seems like, as you describe the beauty of the countryside, that would make for a jarring setting for the atrocities that happened in the country. So how do you deal with the juxtaposition of those two things, the ugliness of genocide and the beauty of the countryside?
Well, as a writer, you can't get any better than that because you have this incredible beauty, and the people of Rwanda love Rwanda. They've loved Rwanda forever, and people who are in exile always talk about going back to Rwanda. And yet, you had this event that did not come out of the woodwork. It was building and building and building. And so on the one hand, you have the physical beauty, and then you have the terrible reality of what people can do to each other.
Would you read us a selection from the book?
I would love to. So I'll read something kind of in the beginning. I'll say a few words about Jean-Patrick. He is the son of a schoolmaster. He comes from a town called Canggu, and his father was the schoolmaster, and he's killed in the first chapter, not through any act of violence. He was in a car accident. There are lots of car accidents, less now, but back then there were a lot of car accidents. I was almost in several myself. I'll read you a section where he has just found out that he's been accepted in the secondary school where his father taught. Jean-Patrick took Papa's journal from his shelf and sat on his bed. He let the book fall open where it would, as if Papa himself had chosen the entry. Although he could pick out themes, this particular page, like many, was filled with scientific terms and formulas Jean-Patrick couldn't comprehend. Soon he would begin to decipher them. The thought filled his heart with pride. He turned to the final entry. Once again, he imagined the scrape of Papa's chair, saw him search the darkness outside the window for the source of the noise that had interrupted his thoughts. He saw him rest the pen on the page, the pen he would never pick up again. "I did it, Papa," he said. He listened for a whisper, a rustle of leaves. Only silence responded. He closed his eyes and inhaled the journal's smell of musty paper, the same scent he remembered from when his father held him. And then I'll just skip forward. He's gone for a run, and he's run as fast as he can, and he kind of has to stop. He's out of breath. Jean-Patrick sprinted as hard as he could up the ridge. Halfway, he had to stop, hands on his knees, lungs emptied. A reddish haze hung in the air and coated the brush. A blue turaco exploded into flight, its beak a flare of red and yellow. A bell tinkled in the clearing. It was Papa's Inyambo steer watching him with sleepy eyes, a clump of grass between his teeth. The beast dipped his head, horns radiant in the sun. Jean-Patrick jogged to him and stroked the quivering skin. With a flash of understanding that took his breath, he saw that his father lived in all that surrounded him, and that every breath of wind contained his father's blessing.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Author Naomi Benaron will be appearing with Craig Johnson, Jonathan Tropper, and Tom Zellner at the Tucson chapter of the Brandeis National Committee's 17th Annual Book and Author Luncheon, with events happening on March 6th and 7th. Proceeds from this event will benefit Sustaining the Mind, a Brandeis National Committee fund that supports cutting-edge research in neuroscience and science scholarships at Brandeis University. You can find more information online at azpm.org.